Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone, this is Aisha Firdaus and you are watching Teachers World. In my previous video, I spoke about welcoming students and how to set up the processes in the initial weeks of the school, and as I told you earlier, there are many videos I spoke on this particular aspect. Now moving further, how to enhance the student engagement, how to teach in a way that the student learns, and how to improvise our teaching practices for the best of students learning, to bring out the best from students. So all these things will be covered today, inshallah. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. This is the time wherein we have to encourage our students to collaborate, communicate, think critically and creatively. So these are the 21st century skills: critical thinking and problem solving together. Similarly, creativity leads to innovation, communication and collaboration in every subject. You must be asking me, how is that possible to bring these things into our classroom? The best way I want to tell you is that if all of us are aware of the Bloom's taxonomy, that is actually the cognitive levels, of learning. So it goes from the lower order thinking to higher order thinking. What are we doing wrong is the thing we need to ask ourselves as teachers. You know, in India, in majority of the schools, because I keep traveling all across India and I get a chance to meet teachers, school leaders. So what I noticed was somewhere around we are stuck in a phase of the lower order thinking skills as mentioned by Benjamin Bloom in Bloom's taxonomy. That is, remember, understand and apply. We are somewhere caught up here. An ordinary teacher, a teacher who thinks like, who's complacent with her work, like she's doing to best of her abilities, is successful only to help the child remember the concept or remember the story and then understand. That goes with comprehension, and the application part is just restricted to the question answers given in the book or the exercises that need to be solved. Except this, the teachers are failing to create any learning opportunities for the students. That's a big drawback. Now we have to leverage our teaching to a level that you give a platform for the students, opportunities for the students to analyze, evaluate and create. If you intend that your students need to be contributors, they should be coming up with innovations, they should be coming up they should be problem solvers. If your goals are these, then and you're not failing to set up such classrooms, then everything becomes a mess. So in this video, I encourage you, if you want, you can pause the video for a while and set goals of teaching. 3 goals for this particular year, what you want to accomplish, the things, the tasks which you were unable to accomplish in the last academic year, and this year you would like to fulfill it. And please make it a point that when you write down the goals, let the goals be SMART goals, that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and properly timed. Without this, if you just write randomly, the goal of this year is to be a best teacher, that best doesn't have any tangibility. It's like you have to write some tangible goals. That means you can measure the goals. If you cannot measure it, that means the goal is just a dream and it has to be realistic. Suppose when I took a survey across, and the teachers were mainly talking about the main goals are like they want to set right the behavior of students up to 60 to 70%. That means when they start working on the behavior, they would like to see 70% improvement in behavior all around the school. And the teachers were focused on communication and expression. This is one of the goals. Like, not necessarily communication is directly related to English communication. It is like whether it be any subject, when the child comprehends, he should be or she should be able to express in own words or explain it to his or her friends. Okay, so that sort of communication, expression of knowledge has to be there, expression of thoughts has to be there, so not restricted only to languages. Then many of them were talking about as I said, communication and this, and reading abilities. Reading is such a big problem in many of the schools, and again the teachers fail to write. They want to see that the students become fluent readers, and again the students after becoming fluent readers should be able to comprehend is another aspect. So I want you to pause the video for a while and set 3 goals of your teaching this year, keeping in mind what you have to stop doing to see that student learns properly. So this is one thing. Now coming back to Bloom's taxonomy, now all of us are aware that learning, we start the lesson plan by drafting learning outcomes, and Bloom's taxonomy insists us on drafting outcomes based on verbs. Okay, so you are drafting outcomes, and then based on outcomes you create learning experiences for the students, and then you assess the students. So it is like a triangle: drafting learning outcomes, then creating experiences based on the outcomes, and then checking whether the experiences are met and the students properly understood or not, and assessing them. So the outcomes, the Bloom's verbs, are applicable in all these 3 stages. And in the assessment, if you see that the outcome is not met, then you have to redefine the outcomes. Okay, so that is one thing, and for your reference you can always use Bloom's wheel in order to draft the outcomes, and see that they have to be action based. One of the goals of your teaching has to be like, you need to leverage your teaching from remember, understand and application phase to analyze, evaluate and create. For English and language teachers, suppose you are covering a poem or a story, then you need to keep some passages wherein the child can read the different stories and analyze. Try to compare the stories, break down the stories into individual elements and compare both the stories, draw some similarities between them and differences between them, and come to an opinion. So this opinion is actually evaluation. This is evaluation. Once the analysis is done, the student actually gets the opinion of a particular thing. He'll be able to judge a particular thing. So that's the next step, that is evaluation. And once that opinion is firmly formed in the student's mind, he will be able to create something new of similar sort. Now might be he can come up with a story or a poem of his own. Okay, similarly even in mathematics, in science, in social studies, you have to keep some compare and contrast situations in front of your students so that they can analyze the content. They can break down a problem and think about individual steps and assembling it together again to form a problem. So this is the critical thinking that's happening in your class, and that should happen in languages and in subjects. That means you are taking up your teaching from remember and understand to apply, analyze, evaluate and create. Application in new situations has to come. Okay, when we talk about the children should think about the story in a new context, you are posing them questions like, change the title of the story. If you were the central character, what would you do? And all such sort of thing, or draft a similar story, design a model. This goes to the create part. Many of us get confused with apply and create. Apply is something using the existing understanding, the knowledge and understanding to in new situations. They are able to solve a problem, answer the questions that are there behind the textbook. Okay, situation, you are creating it and they apply the knowledge to solve this, then that comes under application. Whereas create is to come up with something new, building up something new. All of us are aware that in the NCERT or the state board examinations, the questions being posed are mainly based on critical thinking and creativity. Gone are the days where conventional or replication of knowledge is being taken into consideration. If you memorize the answer and put it on paper, that's not going to be of any use. Now that processing of knowledge has to be there. So at this point of time, all the teachers have to make an intention, have to make a goal, like you are shifting your role from being knowledge transfer transferers, or those who transfer knowledge to knowledge developers or processors. You are helping the children process the knowledge and come up to a new learning. So that is what you are going to do. Create opportunities for them. Study on the research done in different parts of the world. The teachers, how are they resolving this problem? How are they enhancing, leveraging their teaching skill set, their competencies and proficiency? How are they bringing real world situations to explain the concepts given in your maths and science? Did we ever think like, from the cricket field you can bring tangents to your classroom, from the regular breakfast you can bring fractions to your classroom? Similarly, there is a particular approach called Z2A approach, wherein you talk about the practical situations, practical result of that particular concept, and then go to the theory instead of explaining the theory and talking about the practical uses. So it's a lovely subject altogether, when all the teachers make an intention to get started with building up the knowledge from apply, analyze, evaluate, create, and stop. I'm not telling you to stop working on remember and understand. You can flip this, give them the resources that cover the knowledge part of the lesson, that is the poem or the story or the concept, in the form of videos. Send them to the students beforehand and let them learn, let them go through it and come to the class, and in the classroom you will give processing time. This can be one thing that can be done in the classroom to leverage student engagement. So I told you, let me summarize in this particular video. I told you to pause the video and make 3 goals for this academic year that should be SMART goals, and after which I told, let's step up from remember, understand to apply, analyze, evaluate, create. Create opportunities wherein you can help the child analyze the situations, analyze the stories, analyze the problems, okay, and give a different set of problems to them. Let them compare, contrast, and draw similarities and differences between them, and let them form an opinion towards it, and then conclude or create something. At this point of time, each one of the classroom should head towards innovation and creation. And if at all you are doing that, please share your results with me, please share your observations with me, so that we can definitely, you draft a video and send, make a video and send, so that we can post it on our social media channels, on Teachers World, at the same time on Member Academy as well. Jazakallah khair. Thanks for watching. Step up, let's step up our teaching. Jazakallah khair. Signing off.